everybody, Stephen and Karen, making the point. And, frequently we have gotten off the philosophy track and talked a lot about politics. It does sort of seem like that's just something that we can't avoid talking about at this stage of me. But we recently have been doing some reading and discussing the nature of conspiracy theories, because it does sort of seem like almost we're living almost a post-truth kind of world right now. And so just what do you think? Why do you think that we have so many of these? I mean, I guess that there's always been conspiracies, but I just don't see in our recent history anything remotely close to what we're seeing like today in the last decade or so. Why do you think that is?
Well, in answer to the question, I would ask a question. Are these conspiracy theories by and large held by, first of all, held by right-wingers? And I guess it's almost answering my next question. And if so, would these be the true believers, the maggots? I was thinking of, and with no answer yet, but I was just wondering, well, I asked you just before we came on, what makes a conspiracy theorist? And what makes a conspiracy theorist, and what makes a maggot? And is it the same thing, I wonder? And again, wondering more than having any answer to it, but
I guess, go ahead.
Yeah, because I will forget this. Referring to the maggots, and I say that with much love, and only minor derision, but much love. The maggots that I know seem to be base so much of their belief in Trump on fear. That's a huge, huge part of it. Fear of losing the white majority, which we've either already lost or are very, very close to losing. And therefore fear of losing power, white power, and other fears. So where would a conspiracy theorist with fear come into that also? And again, just asking the question, not really having an answer right at hand. If perhaps conspiracy theorists, if there is fear involved there, it might be that they have these fears, ones I mentioned and others, and in a sense, perhaps don't know what to do with them. So by concocting or adhering to a conspiracy theory, at least they can give some context, perhaps, to their fear. And while it may not take the fear away, it may make it more logical or sensible to them. I don't know.
It's interesting. Maybe it's based in fear, and I think sometimes that might be the case. And I wonder if maybe, I've often thought that people who subscribe to conspiracy theories are just bored. They're just bored and they make shit up, and that's how it is. And I'm not sure if that's true, but take for instance the whole QAnon thing. Yeah, okay. So I think that that comes out of the enormous pushback that there was against Donald Trump. And so people who were the true believers made up this whole thing to try and convince themselves and others that no, actually, yeah, he may seem like a bumbling idiot, in front of the cameras. He speaks, not the presidential way that we have come accustomed to seeing presidents speak, and he doesn't behave the way that we have previously seen presidents behave. But the truth is that he's actually this complete genius who behind the scenes is fighting a global child sex ring, a cabal that is largely, largely Democrats and Hollywood types. And this is one of the things that begins to give me pause, because I have to tell you, I find conspiracy theories really entertaining. I find them fascinating. It's like subgroups of people that I just find it fascinating how people can believe things in some cases that are so completely far-fetched. But when you start to unlock the whole Jeffrey Epstein, craziness, the stuff that we know about this was a guy who, and his partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, that these were people that did have a list of, international power, people in power and people who are wildly wealthy and influential, and were, brokering underage women of all variety for their sexual pleasure. I mean, this was an underage sex ring, and Trump was absolutely involved in it, and there's absolutely no way to suggest that he was not. So when you hear him, begin to embrace the whole QAnon thing, he did this back in his first administration, you begin to wonder, because everything that he accuses the other side of, he's guilty of. So it makes me think, wait a minute, was this a way of making people look a different direction and away from Epstein and his cabal that Trump was part of? Just saying. Not that I, subscribe to that, but I think the same thing when I hear the far right, particularly Trump, go on and on about how the 2020 election was stolen from him. The results of the 2024 election, to me, are so unbelievable that it almost makes me wonder, did they do something to destroy votes, to, suppress votes, to switch votes, to something? Like, it just is I don't want to believe that Americans are so stupid and so laissez-faire that the number of people who came out to vote for Joe Biden would not also have come out to vote for Kamala Harris. That, to me, seems highly unlikely and incredibly suspect. So when I hear, and if Trump had never, ever, ever said anything about any election being stolen, I would not think this way. If he was just, no, look, elections, they're solid, they're absolutely secure, we never need to worry about our elections, they're absolutely beyond reproach, I wouldn't ever think this. But these are the sorts of things that make me wonder. I mean, there's lots of fun ones, too, like I was just telling Stephen about. I hadn't been aware of this, but apparently there's, because conspiracy theories happen both on the right and the left, I think much more frequently on the right, but there's some interesting and kind of cute ones on the left as well. Like, for instance, there's a fairly large group of people who believe that Melania Trump has a body double that she sends to do her bidding when it's an event or, some sort of thing that she does not want to partake in. So she sends her body double instead. And if you actually look at the photographs that have caused this to be the case, that people believe this, you look at the photographs of her attending the Pope's funeral, and that doesn't look like Melania Trump at all. It looks like a woman who's easily 20 years older than her. Yeah, so I don't know if she just was having a bad day, or maybe she didn't put her makeup on, or what, but, you know, the lady under the veil sure didn't look anything at all like Melania Trump. So, I don't know. It's fun. It's funny.
I have to say that I'm not a conspiracy theorist by nature. It's not that I don't think that human beings are capable of the most ridiculously stupid and barbaric things possible. I believe that with all my heart. But for whatever reason, I just don't. I've never been a conspiracy theorist. I have a very good imagination, but it still does not lead me down the road to conspiracy theories. So I find it difficult to answer the question, why does a person become a conspiracy theorist? Like I said, I've mentioned the possibility of fear as connecting both the theorists and the maggots. And you mentioned boredom. I wouldn't, not that I don't believe that boredom's I believe it could possibly be one of them, but I mean, I'm going back to the maggots that I know personally, and one particular, the best example, this person does not have any time to be bored. It's like boredom is, I would think, almost foreign to this person.
But there come people who embrace, you know, conspiracy theories. Like, you think about how long people have held on to conspiracies about JFK's assassination. I mean, that continues on today, despite, you know, enormous amounts of documentation that's been released and debunked and, you know, all of these theories. But I think part of it may not, I mean, I certainly think that there are a lot of people who are bored, and as a result, they, you know, dive into this. I also wonder if it's not partially because, particularly in, you know, this day and age where we're seeing a lot of people, we're seeing a lot more, I think, conspiracy theories. I think the internet probably plays a large role in that too. But just, you know, I think that people want ways to express and to explain things that they don't understand on a deeper level. Or maybe they want things to have more meaning than they actually do, that they don't want to believe that, oh yeah, Trump is really just a bumbling idiot, and there's nothing more important or interesting about it than that. Or, you know, yeah, the earth is round, but, you know, how do I know? And it doesn't seem real to me, and I can't understand the concept of gravity or any of that. So, and I don't mean to belittle it. Well, I guess I do. I guess I do mean to belittle it a little bit, because there are certain theories that are out there that are just really stupid, like the flat earthers. I don't know, you guys, I don't get it. But think about, you know, the birther stuff that Trump propagated, all about Barack Obama not having been born in the United States. People grabbed that, and I think it was because they did not want him to be the president. They didn't want him to be the president in the first place. And they needed something that they could say and put their finger on why it was that he couldn't be the president, because they couldn't surely point to anything that he did and make that a reason why he was impeachable. So I think it's convenience, right?
Yeah.
For some people too. It fits their narrative of, well, I don't like this, so I'm going to make up something, or I'm going to believe some made up thing about that particular belief for that particular person, or, you know.
Another thing just came to my mind was life is so very, very complex these days. And as you mentioned, social media makes it so much more complex. I mean, it just does. And perhaps I'm going to say most of us. Most of us, I think, would like answers. If we have a question, we'd like to have it answered. We'd like to be able to find an answer for it. Either find it for ourselves or let it be given to us. And as life has become so complex, there aren't many theories that are so ridiculous that a lot of these folks would not accept. It have to be so outrageous, maybe I can't even think of one that would be that outrageous. But in order to provide answers for themselves, which is perfectly normal and healthy even, if they hear a theory, and especially if the theory tends to support things that they already believe, I think perhaps that is another reason why conspiracy theories are grabbed onto so much these days. Complexity.
Yeah, I think about the whole Pizzagate thing. You know, how it was such a huge under the radar community of people on Reddit and Substack, I think, who were making up detailed descriptions of what was happening in some pizza place's basement, all under the control of Hillary and Bill Clinton. I mean, these were people who felt, there was a guy who went there, as we all know, and tried to shoot up the place. Of course, the pizza parlor in question didn't even have a basement, so there was that. But these are people who feel like there is true evil in the world, and they're out there to stop it. Not understanding that the things that they think are pure evil aren't in existence. Or if they do exist, it doesn't exist in the format. Like, we're not trying to say that there are not child sex traffickers. There most certainly are. But they're not controlled by Hillary Clinton, and they're not happening in a pizza parlor and wherever the hell that was supposed to be. But it's interesting to me when people are able to plug into and believe wholeheartedly in a conspiracy theory. And it's begun for me to feel a lot like it's just impossible to know what's true anymore. We're almost in a post-truth world where we have an administration here in the United States. It's affecting the entire world, where the president will tell a lie if the truth sounded better. This guy it feels to me like he just lies habitually for no particular reason other than maybe to just make everybody question everything all the time, to create chaos, to flood the zone, as Steve Bannon said, just put so much stuff out there. It's like an explosion of butterflies. There's no way that you can fight it all, so you just give up. And then they can tell,
herding cats.
Like herding cats. It's like you can. It's got Remus on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that's part of it, and so that's one of the reasons why I imagine that this administration is happy to continue to fan the flames of certain conspiracy theories and make them up too, you know. So
and also, I should not step out into this quicksand, but what the hell?
don't do it. Quicksand is your friend.
That quicksand.
Oh, there's another conspiracy theory. After watching so many episodes of Gilligan's Freaking Island, I was thoroughly anticipating that quicksand would be a real live problem in my life. You know, like if I traveled, there would be places that there were quicksand.
I've actually seen quicksand.
Really?
Yes. There was a place about a half a mile from where I grew up.
In Louisiana, where there's
yes.
quicksand. No shit.
Yes.
Wow.
Too
soon.
I obviously never stepped into it, or I wouldn't be here, probably. But I saw it, and I saw it as a kid, and so very in a sick sort of way, I kept waiting for an animal to walk over and get swallowed up. Never saw that, but I knew that this quicksand. There were rumors, or there were stories, but then I finally I won't give away that secret. Anyway, I knew it was quicksand. I found out for sure that it was quicksand.
That begs the question.
Yeah.
Comment below if you want to hear what the story is.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. Now, I should not take too many strides away from my train of thought these days. Oh yeah. Quicksand. Going to go back to something that we have both, I believe, not just hinted at, but said here, and again said, it's not in love, with not total disrespect. A lot of stupid people out there. And not just stupid people, lazy people.
Mm-hmm. They're not just naive, they fail to put the legwork in to figure shit out.
And therefore, perhaps, being given a conspiracy theory, it's so much easier to accept that, perhaps, than to be given this thought and then sit down and think it through. You know, does it make any sense? Who's saying it? Why are they saying it? Why do I want to believe it so much? Rather than going through all of that, headache, just accept it. I think that's a possibility.
Maybe. That could be too. There sure are a lot of them out there, and it's an interesting afternoon of reading to just sort of Google conspiracy theories concerning, Trump, and it's something else. If you're bored. I'm not frequently that bored, but it was interesting.
Apropos of nothing, but I just have to say this. One of my favorite Antichrist, Hexa, that man. Let's see. Okay, so read this online. I forget who it now. I forget who it was that said it. Someone high in the administration was asked. I don't even remember the context. It seems like a very strange question to ask, but was asked, who would you trust? Who would you trust? Who would you not trust to leave your kids with? Or who would you trust to leave your kids with babysitting? And this person said, Hegseth and Miller.
That they would trust?
That they would not trust. They would not trust. Yeah, I thought, oh my God, that made my whole day just reading that. And I wish I could remember who said it. It's someone high in the administration. And then they turned around and said, well, I would definitely trust Vance. Now I would trust Vance over Hegseth. I trust Satan almost over Hegseth. But I really, that went a lot. It's been very gloomy day, although gloomy days are my thing, but in a gloomy day, that was a ray of sunshine for those that may not like the gloom. No, Miller and Hector, boy, that person has some good sense, at least with regard to the kids. I wouldn't let them, babysit my pet cockroach, with those two creatures,
Yeah, many people are saying that's how a lot of these conspiracy theories start. It's like many people are saying things that absolutely nobody is saying, but for instance, many people are saying that Haitians in, I can't remember, was it Ohio or Pennsylvania or wherever it was, that they're eating people's pets.
Cats, yes, right, in
Cats,
Ohio,
eating the
yeah.
dogs in Ohio. Was it Ohio?
Yeah.
That's how these things start, huh? Many people are saying that, Steve Miller is actually a hermaphrodite. Many people are saying. I mean, why would they say it if they hadn't had some inkling that it might be true?
And apologies to all the true hermaphrodites out there compared to that creature. My God.
Of which I recently read a study that suggested that it's not anywhere near as rare as we think it is.
Really?
Hermaphroditism. Yeah. And many people are saying that the Pete Hegseth is constantly drunk. All the time. Drunk. He might have been seriously under the influence when he made the command to murder the two survivors from one of the boats in the Caribbean.
Although, remember, he says he gave the authorization, but it was the admiral who is now being grilled in Washington, or has been grilled for several hours now. The admiral that said fire. Pete just said it.
Yeah.
Give the,
Talk about throwing somebody under the bus. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And many people are saying that those two are lovers, and that they may be involved in a lovers spat.
Who?
Oh, the admiral and Pete Hegseth.
Oh my God. Wow. Well.
Nobody's saying that, by the way. I'm just very sure. But. And
I'm thinking when I was reading something about it, online this morning, and I went back to a couple of months ago when Hegseth summoned the military commanders from all over the cosmos to meet at the Department of State of Defense Service, and I just thought to myself, okay. Not from what I've heard, not that these admirals, generals, colonels, whoever, fell for anything, but boy, if you all needed some evidence of how little the administration cares for you guys, look at the admiral.
How much do you think that cost the federal government to have those guys fly from wherever they were in the world, sit unamused and stoic in a room being, lectured to by a guy who's the most unqualified Secretary of Defense that there's ever been, like ever.
It's too bad. I just had this thought. It's too bad that one of the people there didn't either have it happen naturally or just force it to actually throw up in the middle of this. Throw up all over his uniform and his medals, maybe the admiral next to him, the general next to him. That would have been so wonderful. Oh my God, that would have been
Instagram worthy.
So again, if he calls you guys together again, someone have the balls to do that,
Yeah.
Or the ovaries, there were women there too.
They've gotten rid of most of the women. They have actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess maybe they've never felt any great need for subtlety in this administration.
Well, they wouldn't know subtlety.
Yeah, they where it hurts. Yeah. no, I mean, again, I was going to say, they no longer see any need for it. I guess maybe they never saw any need for it in the first place. Yeah.
So it does create pause for me anyway, I think for other people too, when you hear members, particularly of this administration, or, anybody who is really, really fond of pointing something out and saying that they did something wrong, that that person's done wrong themselves. Sort of and the whole boy who cried wolf kind of thing. If people just lie and lie and lie constantly, you stop believing what they say. Okay?
Yeah. Down the wrong way.
Yeah, but so conspiracy theories, I think, are more on the rise now. We're seeing so many more of them because I just think that we're in a post-truth period of time in this country's history, and I think that people don't know what to believe, and if you don't know what to believe, it can be an opening to believe some pretty crazy stuff.
And getting at the truth is sometimes very, very hard. I mean, sometimes the truth is self-evident. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the truth takes some serious digging and serious thought and inconvenience to oneself. Mm. And maybe, I don't know, hopefully not, but maybe fewer and fewer and fewer of us have the, or at least think, look at this little kitty. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, look, how sweet. Oh, boy. Have the time or think they don't have the time to give to looking for the truth or searching for the truth. And it's so much easier to accept a, quote, truth given by someone else. Mm.
Yeah, let somebody else do the legwork and, and if it's incorrect. And, just to add on to that, the truth also can be nuanced. And it can be complicated. And so I'm trying to think of a good example of this that has sort of spun into a conspiracy that starts out with a grain of truth to it, because the best conspiracies have a grain of truth to them, right?
Right.
Yeah. But, yeah, I can't think of an example of it at the moment. But, yeah, I mean, to really, really get to what is actually truth in all of it is hard, because it's super complicated, and it's finessed often, too.
And, we not moved from conspiracy theories to this, but we've moved to include, in our discussion, moved to include truth. And I really don't think that, and I'll include myself in this sometimes, I really don't think that 99% of the population, not just of the United States, but of the world, I don't think most people are concerned with truth. I really don't.
You don't think most people are concerned with
truth? In the sense that, I shouldn't say concerned, I'll give thought to it. maybe, hopefully, let's say that most people, with regard to their morals or their religion, or wherever this else applies, at least would like to really believe, be pretty sure of the fact that their morals or their faith or whatever, they're founded on the truth. But I think once that thought is nourished maybe in growing up, at a certain point, when you get a job and have a kid, that's put up on the shelf. Okay, that's taken care of. And not much more thought is given to it. The truth.
I think it's important for people to still seek out truth, and where it connects up with the whole conspiracy Like, for instance, I've also read this morning that RFK Jr. is putting together some kind of a task force to find out information about chemtrails. This is the theory, the conspiracy theory, that when you look up in the sky and you see the trails from planes, those are contrails. It's made up of water vapor from, exhaust from the plane. But some people believe that those are actually impregnated with chemicals that are meant to poison human people and and control us, and mind-controlling drugs and this type of thing. So RFK Jr. is saying he's putting together a task force to look into chemtrails, and will be, forwarding, best practices and possible legislation to control the use of chemtrails. So all of this basically legitimizes this absolute nonsensical conspiracy theory, and as a result causes people to feel like, oh my God, I can't trust the government, I can't trust any of this. Like, they're poisoning us, they're actually poisoning. And here's a guy who's obviously a truth teller, and he's going to protect it. He's going to make it better. So this is the shit that's just, it's so manipulative. Now, sometimes they're just ridiculous and stupid, but if you don't understand science, or maybe you've got like a grade 5 education, and you look up at the sky and you think, interesting, I wonder, maybe these are something that is meant to control us, or maybe these are something that are meant to give us cancer and control the population. All of these things, And because, particularly when talking about government conspiracy theories, there's enough lying and cheating and underhand secretive shit that happens in every government, our own included, that cause you to not believe the government. So it makes it much easier. The ground is quite fertile, I think, for governmental conspiracy theories to spread and be believed and mutate and become something quite spectacular in their complete detachment from reality, as it were.
I'll be honest, for a long time now, you all know in the Testament that says that as nauseam. Going along with that, I think a fellow traveler with that is, I'm fairly cynical. Not as cynical as I am pessimistic, but cynical enough. But having said that, I don't trust, I have to admit, I don't trust the government hardly at all. I mean, I really don't.
This government.
I really don't. I mean, whether it's this government or Biden's or Obama's or whoever's, or into the future, 50, 100 years into the future, after such and such an administration has come and gone, either while it's still in power, in office, or years afterwards, we're going to find out that so and so did such and such, and we say, oh my God, I never knew that, and I never would have thought of that. What Obama's theory on the arc of history, to the contrary, I don't think we're getting better. I don't. We get better over the long run, yes, but the short run, we're a bunch of assholes. Bunch of pardon my French.
There's a lot of them out there. That's for sure.
Not all of us, and not even all of us all the time, but enough so that I'm finding it harder and harder to be surprised when the news breaks a story.
Right. There's nothing shocking anymore.
Yeah, exactly, and that's that should be shocking. My God. I mean, to not be able to be shocked anymore. Lord, that's first of all, it's sad, and second of all, I think scary. If you can't be shocked anymore, you're going to let your defenses down, I would think. You know, if you can't be shocked, why worry about it? And if you don't worry about it, well, it might very well happen. You know?
Well, we're seeing it happen. I mean, you know, we're here in New Orleans, and of course, ICE and the National Guard are actively on the ground. I saw this morning they're, I know, a bunch of them masked with guns drawn.
Yes.
Pulled an entire crew off of roofers off of a roof and arrested them all simply because they were brown. So, you know, this is, and who knows what's going to happen to those people. And they don't have a warrant. They have no means by which they can actually tell who these people are or what. They're not looking for specific people. They just gathered the whole crew up and shuffled them off. They just disappeared.
And I have to jump in there real quick. Justice or Injustice Kavanaugh, I used to be a fan, no longer.
Oh my God, how could you be a fan of that rapist?
I know. Well.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Okay. Anyway, quicksand.
Yeah.
He came out and said that he believes that ethnicity should be definitely considered in searching out those who are, you know, here illegal, blah, 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 whatever, you know. That to me is terrifying. If I were anyone other than white, that would be damn scary.
It is
that
scary.
Would be damn scary.
And, you know, here in New Orleans, I know that people feel, I mean, I certainly feel this way, that, you know, after Hurricane Katrina, like, all the people from the Latin countries, they were the ones that came here and rebuilt this city. So I know that there are a lot of New Orleanians who feel very, very protective of the Latin community. And I wonder what's going to happen. I think this is one of the reasons why they very quickly and very quietly passed legislation at the state level, making it illegal, like a punishable by jail time offense to interfere in, or to try and interfere, or to try and warn people, or whatever, anything to interfere with the ICE's duties and the jobs of scooping black and brown people off of the streets. So, you know, yeah.
I'll never forget.
Because I think the New Orleanians would be in there like crazy, you know.
I'll never forget. It was not long after, well, it was after Katrina, and the rebuilding had begun, and I was walking down Canal Street, and near or at the casino, there were a number of Latinos working, and just days or weeks before that, I want to get this correct because I don't want to defame this creature more than he had been defamed already. Who is the mayor then?
Ray Nagin.
Nagin came out and had made some very negative comments about brown people. And my Spanish is almost non-existent. But
I don't remember hearing that. What did he say?
I don't remember, but he said it. I realized who was the boss of the crew or whatever, and I went up to him, and he had enough English and I had enough Spanish that I thanked him, and by way of him, his workers, his co-workers, for what they were doing, and told them that Nagin they should, say, F Nagin, fuck Nagin, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. We appreciate, those of us who live here, we appreciate that you, brown people, are the ones who were rebuilding the city. Nagin certainly wasn't out there rebuilding the damn city.
They're building something, but it wasn't.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll never forget that. That was, yeah.
I hadn't heard that, actually. I'm disappointed. I mean, I remember the whole chocolate city thing.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him disparaging brown people at all.
Well, apparently chocolate's okay, but a nice dark blue is not to be had.
Yeah,
You know.
that's right. A brick blue she had. Well, all of this to say, it's hard to seek out the truth, and it's hard to negotiate your way through the absolute swampy, gumbo that is the massive lies and half-truths and misstatements and just complete horseshit that's out there. But it's still worth doing, and allow yourself to be entertained by the crazier ones of the conspiracy theories. Try hard, if you can, not to succumb to any. I'm struggling with that a little bit myself right now, but and make sure that you pay attention to real journalism and don't get your news from TikTok. Don't get your news from Instagram. Don't get your news from YouTube. If it's a awarded, lauded international institution, and I absolutely encourage you, if you're having a hard time wanting to look at the news, turn on international news. Go turn on the BBC World Service or the CBC National, or Al Jazeera if you can get it, or Reuters. Any of these, more international news sources that do fact check and don't subscribe, conspiracy theories, and are not solely concerned with everything that is said and done of this administration. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and this is just part of it. It's affecting a lot of the world, but it's just part of it.
I would also encourage you all to dialogue, that's the proper word, and if it's possible, but with maybe friends, family, neighbors, who are either maggots or have maggot-like tendencies to, I know, I get worse and worse, yeah. The point is not to call them maggots, but people who have conspiracy theories, and if you're able to have a conversation with them, gently, maybe even subtly, carefully, lovingly, feel them out. Why do they believe the theory? Why is there a need to feel it? You never can tell. A lot of us are stupid, but even those of us who are stupid are probably able to learn, and maybe they'll learn by you or me or Karen or whoever, subtly undermining, get in there, undermine subtly the bullshit. Try it. I mean, if no one does that, then the theories are going to become surely set in stone, and there will be no dialogue possible in the end.
And those theories will give birth to others as well.
Right. Yeah.
So before you know it, you're ear deep in just horseshit. It's hard to climb out. But in any case, what do you think about all of this, Remus? Oh, it's really all about just be a cat.
I'm going
Cats rule the world.
I'm going to say something which, well, it won't upset many people because I have a feeling the people who are listening might agree. I have a cat, Finbar, who's across the street with me. I'm going to tell him at least once a day, Finbar, you are so lucky to be a cat and not a human. And I mean that with all my heart. I mean that with all my heart. I really do. And my right-wing friends will find that so ridiculous, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. They'll even make perhaps a conspiracy theory out of that. But anyway, I am so happy that Finbar is a cat and Renus is a cat. And Romulus
who's around here lurking somewhere.
Yes.
All right, so that's our take on conspiracy theories. If you have a favorite one that you find really entertaining or absolutely bizarre, write it in the comments below. And yeah, please like and subscribe. And until then, try and tell the truth and try and seek the truth and try not to laugh too hard at people who believe stuff that's obviously not true. Okay. Until the next time, out of Hashem.